I can't believe what I just discovered about how our brains work when we're young. Stop for a second and think back to your earliest memory. What is the most vivid moment from your childhood that you can recall? For most of us, these memories only stretch back to the age of about 3 or 4. Very few people can remember anything from their time as a baby or toddler. But why is that? Why do we forget most of our early childhood? This is the mystery of childhood amnesia, and trust me, you're about to have your mind blown by what scientists have uncovered. Let's start with the basics. Our brains are incredible organs, capable of absorbing and storing an incredible amount of information. By the time you're just a few months old, your brain is already cataloging sensations, organizing sights, and attempting to understand the world around you. But something strange happens. Unlike, say, a hard drive where everything we process gets tucked away neatly for future retrieval, the memories of our formative years seem to evaporate. So what exactly is going on? Here's the thing. The process of forming long-term memories is not the same for a baby as it is for an adult. Memory formation involves a particular part of the brain called the hippocampus, which is responsible for organizing information into a relatable, retrievable format. While the hippocampus is present and somewhat functional at birth, it is still underdeveloped, and we rely more on implicit memory at this stage. These are non-verbal, experiential memories, like the comfort of your mother's embrace or the taste of milk. Explicit memory, which is the kind of memory tied to images, sounds, and events we can consciously recollect, comes much later. Explicit memory starts kicking in as our hippocampus and other regions of our brain mature. And here's a plot twist. Even though babies are forming implicit memories all the time, they don't retain conscious access to them later because the hippocampus wasn't mature enough yet to encode those memories in a retrievable way. But it's not just about the hippocampus. Language plays a significant role too. Did you know that our ability to form autobiographical memories, which are detailed, personal recollections of experiences, often hinges on having the words to describe the event? Think about it. Without the language to understand what a moment means or to recount it later, how could you possibly store it as a meaningful, vivid, long-term memory? Babies and toddlers are soaking in language, yes, but they aren't fluent, and thus many of their earliest experiences exist in pre-verbal form. Once again, this makes those memories wildly difficult to recall. Now let's talk about the big one, the rewiring of the brain. Did you know that between the ages of 0 and 3, your brain is a neural construction site? New pathways are being paved at an astronomical rate. Old, less used connections are being discarded, and the brain is pruning itself to become more efficient. It's this neural spring cleaning that causes a phenomenal turnover in the brain, wiping out memories we formed in those earlier years. This pruning process is necessary for learning and adaptation, helping us process new information more effectively as we grow older. But the cost is steep. Our earliest memories are casualties of this developmental leap. Interestingly, childhood amnesia isn't just limited to humans. Studies on animals, from rats to primates, also show that early life memories fade as they grow older. This has led researchers to believe childhood amnesia could be an evolved trait, beneficial for survival. Think of it this way. Your brain couldn't sustain itself if it carried the overwhelming burden of meaningless clutter from your infancy. By allowing these early memories to fade, your mind makes space for more relevant, actionable experiences crucial for your survival and development in the here and now. There's genius to the forgetting. But here's where it gets even more remarkable. Although you may not consciously remember events from your first years, those experiences shape you in ways you might not even realize. Neuroscientific studies have shown that implicit memories and early environmental influences leave significant imprints on our personalities, emotional foundations, and even how we approach relationships later in life. So, in a sense, while you can't reflect on these events with clarity, who you are today owes a lot to those forgotten early moments. Another fascinating aspect is the role of emotion in memory creation. Our strongest memories, the ones that stick around, often come from moments steeped in joy, sadness, fear, or excitement. Emotional arousal activates the amygdala, a region of the brain that helps imprint memories with more depth. In early childhood, our brains simply don't process emotional events in the same way. The connections between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex, the brain's planning and memory-making center, are not fully developed. This is another reason why those early years might seem like a fog when we try to recall them later. Okay, so if you're like me, you're probably wondering, is there any way to overcome childhood amnesia? Can we somehow reclaim these lost years? The short answer? Not entirely. Certain cues like old photographs, family stories, or even familiar smells can help trigger faint memories from your early childhood. That said, most of the specifics are gone for good. But here's the silver lining. Our inability to remember those years doesn't mean they weren't valuable. In fact, every cuddle, laugh, and lullaby laid the foundation for who you are now. Now let's get philosophical for a moment. Isn't it a little poetic, even beautiful, that our earliest memories dissolve back into the ether like the morning dew? In some ways, it reflects life's impermanence, its constant evolution. The fact that we don't carry every single moment is a testament to human adaptability, growth, and the importance of living in the present. Memory, after all, filters life for us, keeping what matters most and letting go of what doesn't serve us anymore. So what can we learn from all of this? First, give yourself a break if you can't summon images of your first birthday or your earliest time at the playground. It's not that your brain wasn't working, quite the opposite. It was too busy building the neural framework required to shape your world. Also, appreciate the memories you do have. They're less like a perfect file cabinet and more like an ever-changing dynamic painting. And perhaps most importantly, cherish the little ones in your life. Though they may never remember specific details of your time together, every moment is shaping their emotional core, their sense of security, and their ability to navigate the world. In the end, the mystery of childhood amnesia gives us insight into an extraordinary truth about ourselves, that we are constantly in flux, rewriting, refining, and reshaping who we are. And while we may not remember where we began, every single moment has helped write the story of where we are today. So, I'll ask you again, what's your earliest memory? And how might it differ if you understood everything that went into the making and unmaking of your childhood mind? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, keep asking, why? And stay curious. This is Why Facts, signing off.